with my 7th project or gift for Christmas. This is something very, very simple, and like I said yesterday, it was very simple, but I made how many mistakes? So what this is a small box, and in this small box, you open it up and it's for a Kleenex holder. And I thought it was a nice little box because you could put the Kleenex in there, but you could also put candies or cookies in here, many different little things, but it would make a really cute stocking stuffer. And so what I'd like to do is show you how to make this today. And again, you can get several of these done before Christmas. You could also even take this and make tags and put tags in here as a stocking stuffer. You just would have to be sure that they're the same size as the box. So let's go on and let's see if we can get this box made, and then I won't make any mistakes like I did yesterday. So starting off is this piece of solid cardstock is 7 3/4 by 6 1/4. And so we're going to start off on the 7 3/4 side, and we're first of all going to score at 2 1/4. I do that all the time. I run off my score lines. I always think I'm going to do better, and just thank goodness that it's getting covered by pattern paper. So 2 1/4, then we go to 3 1/4. Our next one is 5 1/2. 5 1/2, and then the last one is 6 1/2. Okay, that's on the 7 3/4 side. Now on the 6 1/4 side, we are going to score at 1 inch and turn that all the way around, and then score again at 1 inch. And that's our scoring. So what I'd like you to do is to go ahead and take this, and we're going to do some cutting on our box. So first of all, I'm setting this up so that this piece right here, it's the piece with 2 score lines. I don't know if you can see that in here. Maybe let me see if I can put another light on. So hopefully that's even a little bit more helpful, a little brighter. Hope that is. This spot right here, this is going to be the cover. This is going to be part of the lid. This is the back of the box. This is the bottom of the box. And this is basically the front that comes around. So when I say the front, this is going to be this part of this box. So when we go through here, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to cut along this side and cut along this side, cutting those score lines out of the box. Oh, come on. And then the same thing on this side. And you want to miter these tabs a little bit, but not the other sides, not these sides. All right, and then we're going to turn this around, and what we're going to do is we are going to cut this all the way down to our second score line. See that? To the second score line. And we're cutting inside the score line so that we're cutting it off. And what we're going to do then is we are going to cut this corner out from the front of those 2 score lines, and then that leaves us 2 tabs right here. So we're going to take those 2 tabs and we're going to slightly miter them so we can also take the score lines off. I watch some people on YouTube, and when they're cutting or mitering, they never seem to miss, and I always seem to miss. So, well, I shouldn't say always, but more than I don't. So then the best way to work with this is to set this up so that the 2 score are here, and then this is the front of it when it comes around. And what we're going to do is start preparing our box by putting pattern paper on it, and also I'd like to round this corner of my front flap. So I take my corner rounder and I'm going to do that, and then I'm also going to do the corner rounding of my patterned paper. So that's going to fit right down in. Okay. I wonder if I made this 1/8 of an inch too long. Gosh darn. I might have been looking at the wrong. You know, I did. So I'm going to stop this, and I'm just going to go back and fix my pattern paper because it's all going to be 1/8 of an inch too long. So I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. Oh my goodness. So what we're going to do is take and lay all of our pattern paper down on our box. Making sure we have about 1/16 of an inch all the way around the sides and the top and the bottom. This paper that I'm using too is from Blue Fern. It is called Bird Waltz. It was what I had left over from a design team project from Country Craft Creations. And the cardstock that I'm using is from Country Craft Creations as well. It's the Artisan cardstock in the burgundy. And it's my favorite cardstock. I use other cardstock for things such as like card bases, or possibly finishing off maybe another box or something like that. But it's my favorite, and I wouldn't craft without it. So it can be bought again at Country Craft Creations. It's called Artisan cardstock, and it's a woven cardstock. And it's only sold at Country Craft Creations. There's not sold at any other store because it's Tamara's design. Or all right, and then okay. Primarily, most of my crafting supplies I do buy at Country Craft Creations, and it is a small business online that is owned by Tamara Merrill. So remember to support, whether it's your local online stores or not online, I'm sorry, your local stores or the online stores. So the next thing that we're going to do is put our side tabs on. And you don't have to put pattern paper on all these sides, but one of the things that I want to remember to do is that this is how my box is going to fold up. So I want to make sure that this part of my box folds to the back. So I'm going to make sure that I put my pattern paper on here so that it'll be my reminder, because in my other box that I did, I kind of forgot about that and I glued it. Not that I glued it wrong, it wasn't that big of a deal, but I wanted it so that the flaps went towards the back of the box. And using good cardstock will make this a little bit sturdier for anybody who wants to carry this in their purse, or it's also nice to have it something that looks a little bit nicer to sit on your desk. So, all right. The other thing is with blue fern paper, it is a very, very thick paper, so it is really nice for giving some sturdiness to a box that you make out of cardstock. So we're going to then fold this all up. And if you wanted to fold this ahead of time, you could have done that too. I just chose not to do that until we're going to put it all together. The other thing with artisan cardstock is that it also stands up to scoring very well. So don't be afraid to crease and score for that. All right, and then all that's really left is putting this together. We're going to fold all of this in, fold these sides in. Probably, I guess it would have been better to have done it before I did all the cutting, but oh well, it is what it is. So in putting this together, one of the things that we want to do is to put this together so that this flap is on the outside of this flap, because we don't want our Kleenex or whatever we put into the box getting hung up on our on that little flap. So what I'm going to do is put some glue on this flap, and I'm going to start off by putting this together and, oh, no, that's right. I thought I was doing the wrong thing again. And match this up, and then go ahead and add a little bit more glue on top of this flap, and then square this up. This way it's a nice clean fit to the inside. So pull that back. I'm going to pull this down. Doesn't want to fold for me. And then we're going to take this one and square that up with this as well. One of the other things that I did do is I did ink all my edges of my paper just so that they didn't look too white on this dark burgundy cardstock. So that's it put together. Wait till that dries a little bit. And then those flaps are going to go in, and then this will flap down to the front. So the other thing you want to watch is for the way the pattern sits on your box, if it's a directional paper or not. So the next thing that we're going to do is you could put magnets on there, but I'm just going to use the Velcro, because again it's just a little box, and I don't think that it's something that's going to last a lifetime. So I cut my Velcro apart, and what I want to do, oh shoot, I should have done. What I like to do is to put the clear part on here and the fuzzy part on the lid, so it's more of the white side because that's a little bit more hidden. And so I'm going to come in about 1 inch and I'm going to press that down on there. Same thing on the other side. I'm going to come in about 1 inch. There we go. And then pull these I've had no problems with these whatsoever the whole time I've been using them. And now I get on camera and that doesn't want to come off. There we go. That's much better. So then we've got these sides on here. So then when you bring that down, just make sure that it's lined up properly. The other thing that works really well is if you put the Kleenex into the box, and you can take them out of this pack or you can leave them in. I'm just opting to leaving the pack in there because of germs and things if I'm giving it as a gift. So I'm going to do that, line that up, and press that down. Now, so that's everything, and I'm not going to move it right yet. The other thing that we had with this box is you can see there's like little buttons on here. So in order to make those buttons, what I did was just take a 5/8 inch punch, and then took my ball and made them look a little bit indented and break down the fibers, went around, and then on the inside what I did was put these little tabs in the middle of that to put that on. So I just put those in the middle, and you can put probably a little bit bigger ones on here than what I have, meaning the foam, but this is all that I had right now that'll fit in here. So you can do that and take those foam tabs off, and then I'm going to place both of these on here lightly until I see where they're at. And once I think they're even, I can push them down onto there, and then they look like little buttons on that. And if you're not feeling too secure about your your foam tape, then you can put a little bit of glue on the back of those as well. The other thing that I was doing, and I don't have them, I'm not putting them on because they're not completely finished, or they're not completely dry, I guess I should say, is I took these little buttons, and I call them my little doodads, and what I did was take a 5/8 solid cardstock burgundy, and then I took a 1/2 inch hole circle punch, and I glued that to the middle of the 5/8 inch burgundy, and then I put glossy accents on the top. Now these have only been probably for an hour, so they need to probably dry overnight, but I was thinking about possibly putting them onto these even rather than these, because I thought that it would look even more like a button, but we'll see what it looks like in the morning when it's all done. But basically that is our box. So I'm going to go through the matting and scoring and everything one more time, because I'm not sure I did all this, gave you all the measurements. So first of all, you need a cardstock that is 7 3/4 by 6 1/4. And then we went through the scoring lines. I gave that to you. But then this matte flap, this flap is going to be, for the matting, you need to cut at 1 1/8 by 4 1/8. And one of the things that I did was I took a small piece of pattern paper, and not too small, but about this length, and I cut it by 4 1/8. When I made the mistake, I cut it at 4 1/4, but it should be 4 1/8, and it'll work for all of your matting. So if your width here is 4 1/8, then this one is going to be cut at 1 1/8. This is going to be cut at 7/8 by 4 1/8. This is going to be cut at 2 1/8 by 4 1/8. This is cut at 7/8 by 4 1/8. And then the front mat here is 2 1/8 by 4 1/8. And then the sides of the box are cut at 7/8 by 2 1/8. 7/8 by 2 1/8. And that is all your matting for these boxes. And the first time that I open these, I usually am very careful about pulling off the Velcro, because a lot of times the first time around doesn't work very well. But once I get it on there, or really get it stuck down, it works real well. Let me just see if I can show you here. That's why I usually opt for, for magnets, because I always worry about these Velcros coming off. But what I try to do is I put glue behind them before, and actually it took a lot longer for them to dry. So you can see where the clear ones are right here, the white parts are right up here. And so I am just going to give that time to set again, and usually like by the second time it comes off pretty easily. It's just usually that first time that I find that I have the most difficulty with it. So that is our little Kleenex box or candy box, whatever you'd like to do, but it makes a great stocking stuffer, and I hope you have fun making it. And I will see you probably tomorrow. I think I'll have another video up tomorrow. So Merry Christmas!